Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today to pay tribute to my dad. Um, First, we want to thank everybody for all the cards, the flowers, the calls, the texts, the gifts, the food, the mass cards. Someone even had a prayer said for my dad at the Notre Dame Grotto. So we just thank you guys so much for all of that. And we also want to thank you all for your patience. In mid October, we lost. Hold on. It's okay, buddy. In mid October, we lost Matt's mom. And then obviously, we lost my dad unexpectedly on Thanksgiving. And then the first week of December, Matt lost one of his dear friends. And then we had Christmas and COVID and everything. So we just want to say thank you for your patience for us to get this together for you guys to take time and comment and celebrate dad. So if this had been normal times, we probably would have had to run out the Staples Center to accommodate all the people that would have wanted to come and pay tribute to my dad. But unfortunately, in the times we live in, we couldn't do that. But luckily, thanks to my husband's industry, being that he's in the audiovisual events industry, we were able to use the skills and the knowledge of his friends in the industry to make this happen. So we would like to take this moment to thank Clyde and Chip. I'm not gonna cry.
Love you.
For making this happen. They are currently behind the scenes in Arizona, pressing all the buttons and making this happen. And if you would have told me the day I met Clyde that not only would he have introduced me to my husband, but that he would have been doing my memorial for my dad during a global pandemic, I don't think I would have believed that. But thank you to Chip and Clyde for handling all this. We really needed it.
Thank you. Thank you from my heart.
So we want to let you guys know that this is being recorded. So if you know anyone who couldn't make this or you can't see all of it, just know it is being recorded. And a little later after this, we will have it uploaded to YouTube and we will be able to share that link to the YouTube video at some point today. I will probably put it on my social media accounts and Matt's and everything. So we'll have that for you today, and feel free to forward that to whoever you want. Also, feel free to leave comments. There's comments on the live Facebook event, so you can go ahead and do that. And just know that this memorial is about 45 minutes long. So if you need some timing there. And after everything's been shown, we will come back to you guys and we'll say goodbye. So at that, take it away, Chip and Clyde.
Aguilar. A lifelong Irish fan, will wear number 22 tonight and play wide receiver and safety. Philadelphia's teacher Michael O'Donnell returns for his second fantasy campaign tonight. O'Donnell will also wear number 22 center.
Hey, Brian.
Little me.
Hey, Brian.
Little me. Little me. Little me. Little me. Little me.
Hi, Leanne. On behalf of my family, I would like to offer our heartfelt condolences to you and to your family on the recent passing of your father. When I think of Brian McNerney, I think of a genuine man who loved God, who loved his family, and cared about the community that he served. He had this energy and enthusiasm that was unmatched. He took the time to know anybody he came across with and had this ability to connect with people, to become instant friends. Brian loved people, and he saw the good in everybody. Anywhere he went, you felt his positive energy, and you were proud to know him. And I was honored to know him for 15 years and to call him a friend. And I'll always remember the good deeds he's done and to live by example. So I just want to say that we'll continue to remember your father, and we'll never forget him. He'll always live in our hearts. May God bless you, and may God bless Brian McNerney.
Hey, Brian, it's John Redmond. You're such an inspiration to me. I didn't get to know you very long, but I really enjoyed our relationship. Notre Dame is not the same without you. We're thinking about you, my friend. I know you're in a better place. I just want to let you know we really, really admired you and love you. Take care, my friend.
Hi, I'm Marlene Carney, and I'm a Laverne Chamber Ambassador and semi-retired from a 35-year career in the Chamber of Commerce industry. And I wanted to say a few words about Brian McNerney. I used to say that every Chamber of Commerce needed a Brian McNerney. He was such a staunch supporter of the Laverne business community, and he did so much. He went above and beyond in trying to help the business owners take full advantage of the Chamber of Commerce, and he helped them promote themselves. He was a true marketer, and he knew how to do that. And so he was always there for the businesses, always their biggest cheerleader. He was also a staunch supporter of veterans. He always had a smile on his face. He was always extremely enthusiastic. And he loved his family. He used to talk about his wife and his daughter and his grandchild. He loved them so dearly. And it was so sweet to see that. I will miss Brian. I will miss that smile. I will miss that enthusiasm, that energy. And I know now he's an angel looking down on his family and the chamber and still cheering everyone on. Thank you.
Leanne, Carol Ann, Tom here, Donna there. It's an honor doing this in memory of your dad. You know, Donna and I loved him very, very much. Missed him for all these years. But one thing I wanted to bring up is he thought outside of the box a lot. And you know, when it came to having a good time, people, parties and that, Brian was right there. One thing that brings back the biggest memory to me was when you were graduating from high school at St. Lucy's, and your dad asked a favor of Donna and I if we would go over and man the fort, which is your house, with all the guests coming over while you did the ceremonies up at the high school, in which we did. We played bartenders, and bartenders at a McNerney house is wow. You know, and we did. People came in, gave your dad, especially the time he wanted to spend with the people rather than behind the bar, and naturally, he was the kind of guy that give you the shirt off his back, and he reciprocated and did the exact same thing for Don and I when Janae graduated from Lucy's, and it's just a shock, and we're still hurting over this. But another thing I just thought I'd throw in there, this is the golf course in my backyard right here, and you know, your dad loved golf and Via Verde and that. He was the one who spearheaded the Irish Open every year at Via Verde Country Club. And for those of you who've never seen it, you'd have to see pictures of Brian because you can't miss him. He was the only leprechaun out there on St. Patty's Day. Have a good day, guys. Miss you.
Love you guys.
Aw, say
Look
hi.
at little B. Little B.
Say hi, Grandpa.
Little B, little B, little B, little B.
Say
Little
hi,
B.
Grandpa.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you, little B. Look at that.
I love you.
Look at that. Look. Do-do-do-do-do. Look, little B. Look. Look at my...
It's hard to believe that you're not here with us. It's hard to believe that you're gone. With all the crises that happened in 2020, the most devastating news that I got was when I found out that we lost you. Brian, you are awesome. You gave this city life. I can't forget the first day that I started my practice. I came to your office in Chamber, and I knew right away that I'm in good hand. And with your support, continuous support in all aspects of my practice, my life, my family, my campaign. You were the first person who stood up, called me, and asked me, Doc, what do you need? We miss you. I miss you. And you will always be the godfather to me. God bless you. And looking forward to meet you again and have fun and enjoy being around you. God bless you.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Tim Kelleher, Brian's brother-in-law. Brian's passing has devastated me. It really, really hurts. He took me to my first Yankees and Notre Dame games. He let me stay in his home when I first moved to California. My love for my sister Carol Ann, Leanne, Matt, and little B is everlasting. Thank you, Brian, for being the greatest. Rest in peace.
Hi, my name is Vivian Anderson, and I had the incredible opportunity to have known Brian McNerney for over 42 years. Carol Ann and Brian moved into San Dimas, California, across the street from us in 1978, and Leanne was born shortly after that. And Carol Ann and Brian have been like parents to me. Brian, you've done so much for our community, for our schools, for the city of San Dimas, the city of Laverne, the Via Verde Country Club. It was an honor to get to know you. It was an honor to be your neighbor. We love you. I know it's so sad for all of us who you've left behind, but I know you're sitting there on that 50-yard line at Notre Dame cheering us all on. We love you, and until we meet you again.
Hi, Carol Ann, Leanne, Matt, and little Brian. I'm so sorry for your loss. As you know, Brian was my first cousin, but was more like a brother to me. We did everything together all through our childhood, our teenage years, and well into adulthood. We had some great times that I'll cherish forever. But most of all, the most important thing was Brian introduced me to my wife, Betty. We've been married for 53 years, and we have 3 wonderful children and 6 beautiful granddaughters. For this, I will be eternally grateful. Thanks, cuz. You're more like a brother. I'll miss you forever. Rest in peace.
My name is Don Kendrick, as former mayor of the city of Laverne. A couple of things I'd like to talk about Brian. One is when he first arrived in Laverne as the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. I was at City Hall very soon after that, and Robert Rodriguez, a former city councilman, came in and was really upset about a white car down on Bonita Avenue with the license plate that said Defeat SC. Well, that was Brian McNerney's treasured license plate because he hated SC and loved Notre Dame. The two of them got together and formed a great friendship and a rivalry that was pretty cool. I know they're at it right now. Second thing is the recruitment and retaining of businesses as part of the chamber. Brian was really a salesperson, and he knew the value of working together, and he increased the number of businesses that were chamber members.
It's a very sad moment for me. I was as shocked as everyone else. I never thought I'd be going through a eulogy like this for my dear friend. We go way back. We were kids together, went to the same grammar school, lived around the corner from each other. There was Brian, his cousin Johnny Devine, and all our good friends. We all played ball from morning to noon to night, stickball, handball, basketball. It was a wonderful time in our country. Everyone was patriotic and we cared and loved each other. Brian, you'll be greatly missed. I already miss your emails, your text messages, and hearing your voice on the phone. I can imagine how wife, grandchildren, daughter, everyone else that loves you feels, especially Laverne Chamber of Commerce. I know they miss you. I'm going to put some old photos in here, my friend, and I'm sure those that can remember will greatly appreciate them. You're missed. The country lost a great patriot besides. My friend, I'll see you in the next world, and we'll have plenty of time to practice hitting Vinny Benini's curveball. God bless you all.
Just want to say Merry Christmas from New York.
Merry Christmas.
And how sad we are that this holiday is without Brian. And he was one of the best guys we knew. He was a good person. He loved everybody, and everybody loved him. The only person I know who I could walk down the street with, and he'd stop every police officer and thank him for his service. He loved the veterans. He just loved everybody. People gravitated towards him. He will be remembered in so many good ways, from when the children were little up until now. A big part of our heart went with him, and we just want to say we love you.
Miss you, Uncle Babe. Miss you.
Miss you, Uncle Brian.
Love you.
Love you
guys.
guys.
Love you guys.
Go Irish.
I don't recall the first time I met Brian. I do recall how I felt after the first time I met Brian, which was better about myself. Brian just had that way. Everyone he talked to walked away feeling a little bit lighter in their step, a little more joy in their heart. Since becoming friends with Brian, I've coveted two things about Brian: his relationship with his daughter and his relationship with his wife. It's the same relationship I want to have with my kids when they grow up. I want to be their best friends, their partners in crime, the person they come to share all of their fun times and when they're heartbroken. And then his long-lasting relationship with his wife, Carol Ann. That's what I want for my wife and I, to grow old together. Brian was an amazing person who drank life through a fire hose. He consumed as much as he could of everything he loved: his daughter, his wife, the Yankees, Notre Dame football, from his Defeat SC license plate to going to camp, Notre Dame football camp with me last year, which I know he loved, which I knew he would love as a long time Notre Dame fan. Brian, you're taken too soon. I love you, and you will be missed.
Hey everyone, my name is Jen, Uncle Timmy's youngest daughter. I wanted to share just a few words. I think we're all equally shocked about this loss. And I think it's an understatement to say that we're all going to deeply miss Uncle Brian's brightness, his hilarious, sometimes inappropriate stories, and his fun. That how much he could just light up a room everywhere he went, but more than that, his ability to make others feel seen and celebrated and affirmed, and that you're like the best thing, you know, around. I feel like he had such a gifting for that. I also wanted to commemorate, celebrate just how exemplary his father-daughter relationship is with Leanne. You know, as a believer in God, I just feel like my Uncle Brian really showed how fathers are supposed to love daughters, and we're just very fortunate to have him in our family. And I truly believe that heaven must be welcoming him with a lot of cheering and more jigging than we can even imagine. Bless you all.
Hello, Carol Ann and Leanne. John Mullins.
I just wanted to add a few comments to the videos that you're going to be doing for Tuesday. I met Brian in 1989 when we first joined Via Verde, and met you two very shortly after that. And I'll have to say, Brian and I became friends very quickly, and I can't tell you how many rounds of golf we played together with Steve Reed and Bud. But Brian is one of these guys that if he's your friend forever. And he sure was. I had total respect for the guy, and he will be terribly missed. When he worked with me on Tidbits, I really appreciated it and enjoyed him taking so much active part in it, and really helped me get it going over there until we had to stop publishing. Anyway, best to you guys. If there's anything I can ever do for you, please let me know. But just keep in the back of your mind that Brian will never be forgotten. Thank you.
There, you got it. Hi, my name is Leanne Sheridan. I'm Brian McNerney's daughter, and I'm speaking to you today on behalf of my family, my mother, Carol Ann, my husband, Matt, and my son, Little Brian, or as my dad called him, Little B. Today we want to celebrate my dad. We want to tell you stories about him that you might not know, and hopefully we'll laugh along the way. I wanted to stand today in front of the oak tree that was planted in my dad's honor. The tree was planted 5 years ago at the Lowell Brandt Park in Laverne by the Laverne Chamber of Commerce. It's so special to see how this tree has grown, and it'll always be a place that I can visit and know that Dad is here. To understand my father, you have to understand his mother. My grandmother Anne came to America from Ireland in her mom's belly and was born in New York City. She was a ball of love and energy and was wrapped in a little 5-foot body with crazy red hair. Everyone that met my nanny loved her. She brightened every room she entered, and like they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and my dad definitely was his mother's apple. My father grew up in a Catholic home that welcomed everyone and believed in being of service, and he carried that his whole life because of his mother. My dad went to a Catholic K-8 school called Holy Child, and then he went to an all-boys Catholic high school called Archbishop Malloy in Richmond Hill, Queens. My dad was captain of the basketball team, and in his senior year, he played a freshman from Power Memorial High School named Lou Alcindor. My dad was quoted in the school newspaper as saying he didn't think that Lou Alcindor would make it to the NBA because he was too lanky and uncoordinated. As we all know, Lou Alcindor became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and even my dad doesn't get it right every time. Then, ironically, I went to a K-8 school, and I also went to an all-girls Catholic high school where I played basketball. So in a weird way, I am also the apple that falls far from my dad's tree. My dad went to college at St. Francis University in Loretto, Pennsylvania. And one thing most people don't know about my dad is he was the school's bookie. My nanny used to say a lot of rosaries when my dad was in college, and he was in the university president's office a lot. But he graduated on time, didn't go to jail, and he ended up becoming an upstanding citizen and a very good man. Then, one snowy night, my dad's fate changed. My mom decided to go to a dance during a snowstorm, and she begged my grandfather for his car. And basically my pop-pop, who was a tough man, told her that if he did anything to his car, he would kill her. So my mom's driving to the dance, and about a mile out, the windshield wipers break, and it's completely white on her windshield. So she had to roll down the window, stick her head out, and just make it barely to the dance. She figured she was gonna get murdered anyways, so she decided to just go to the dance. When she got there, ironically, the only people at the dance were her and the band. So she called my pop-up and waited for her fate to get murdered. My grandfather walked down to the local bar in the neighborhood, and lo and behold, I know this is shocking, my father was in there with his best friend, Jimmy Hennessy. Now, my pop-pop knew Jimmy Hennessy from the neighborhood, so he went up to Jimmy and said, "Hey, I'm going to kill my daughter. She broke my car. Can you give me a lift? And of course, Jimmy said yes. And then my dad went along because he figured he wanted to see what happened to this woman and see if she gets killed. So how my mom tells the story is when they got there, Jimmy and my pop-up immediately went to try to fix the car, and my dad walked up to her. And she said all she could see was this red-headed guy walking up to her, and she just knew. She just knew that she was going to marry him somehow, some way. They ended up talking, and then finally he asks her out, but he asks her out for June, and this was February. He told her he had a beach house at the beach, and he would love for her to come down and come to the beach house. So my mom proceeds to get in the car with my pop-up. They're driving home, and my pop-up says, that Brian guy was pretty nice. Did he ask you out? My mom said, yeah. And my pop-up goes, when? And she's like, June. And my pop-up was like, well, I kind of hoped it was sooner, but at least you guys are going to see each other again. Fast forward to June. My parents meet up at his beach house. My mom walks into the beach house with a bottle of booze, and she walks into the living room, and she said your father was completely surrounded by what she called ethically questionable ladies. And he ignored her. And so after about 20-30 minutes, she grabbed her bottle of booze and she left. A couple weeks later, she's on a date and at that same beach. The date is so bad, it's going totally bad and boring. So she turned to the guy and said, hey, there's this beach house down the way. They're always having a party. Why don't we go? My dad says he sees my mom walk into the beach house with this other guy, and that was it. From then on, they were together. As a matter of fact, they celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary a couple days before my dad passed. One thing people don't know about my dad is he was a teacher after college. He taught troubled youth in New York that were too young to go to jail. The stories he told me were very sad and scary. These kids were very troubled. However, he gained their love and respect, and he helped a lot of them get down and to go down the right path. He even surprised his students one day with a trip to Yankee Stadium where it was all of their first baseball game ever. And you can imagine how special it was for those boys. And in true dad form, he caught a foul ball at the game, and it ended up sitting on his desk and becoming the mascot for the class. He left teaching, went into sales, mostly office equipment and typewriters. He was very, very successful. And then in February of 1978, he went to San Diego on a business trip. When he saw what it was like to be in California in the winter, he immediately went back to New Jersey, where my mom was pregnant, and told her, we're moving to California. I do not want to raise my kid in cold weather. Ironically, it's very cold today. But my mom and him, they quit their job. She had an uncle in Manhattan Beach, California, and they moved across country. Everyone in New York thought they were nuts. They were leaving all their family, all their friends, but my dad was determined. And so he came across the country, and ironically, his company followed him and asked him to start the Western Division, and they moved to San Dimas, and the rest is history. My dad was a very successful sales rep for almost 35 years. One of his biggest sales was to LA Unified School District. The relationship he developed with his reps and his fellow leaders lasted a lifetime, and a lot of them are part of our family even today. My parents enjoyed many rewards trips that went all around the world, Rio de Janeiro, Monte Carlo. They even had a cruise in Alaska. And my dad is infamous for throwing a cocktail party for all of his reps on top of an Alaskan glacier. He helicoptered everyone from the cruise ship to the top of the glacier, and ironically, the bartenders forgot ice. It's like his favorite story. He even had me join one of his sales meetings in Las Vegas when I was 9 years old, and I got to stand on the stage and pick the sales rep that was going to win the Mercedes-Benz. Needless to say, I followed in his footsteps. I went into sales. I gave him every sales award I ever won, which he proudly displayed. I also sold my largest deal to LA Unified, and I even went on a rewards trip to Monte Carlo, just like my dad did. So again, I love being the apple to his tree. After 35 years, my dad retired. He enjoyed many rounds of golf at Via Verde Country Club. He had a fraternity of characters that he considered brothers at that golf course. And after a while, he got restless, and he still wanted to help people. So he started volunteering at the San Dimas Chamber of Commerce. After volunteering there, they all suggested that he apply to be the CEO of the Laverne Chamber of Commerce. This began the next chapter of my dad's life. For 10 years, he was honored to serve the city of Laverne. He loved taking his business knowledge, his sense of service, and his love for people to help the businesses and citizens of Laverne. Just like his sales career, the relationships he made with everyone he met and worked with became a real bond, and many of those we met along the way are like family to us. All the events, the parades, the trips to Dubai and China and France and Russia, these memories we made with the Chamber will last a lifetime. There are so many stories I could tell you about my dad, like how he got stuck in an elevator with Phil Collins once, how he once called the security on Bon Jovi who was having a party in his hotel floor, how he talked to Eric Clapton once for over an hour and had no idea who he was, how he was obsessed with CVS coupons and getting the best deal he could every time he went to the San Dimas CVS, how he loved scratchers and he would literally bring us scratchers every time he came to see us with a quarter and we never won. How he was obsessed with the sound of music and would cry like a baby every time they would sing Climb Every Mountain or when Maria walked down the aisle to get married. And when I say cry, I mean cry every time. I think it's important to talk about all the moments in my dad's life. Marrying my mom, the birth of me and little Brian, but then came the University of Notre Dame's fantasy camp that he attended in June of 2019. My dad had a life-changing experience at that camp. We all know how much he loved Notre Dame, but the camp was more than that. He found a brotherhood that week that entrenched his heart. The men he met that week truly became his friends, sons, and brothers. To be able to see my dad run out of the Notre Dame tunnel in full uniform while being cheered on by the current players was beyond a highlight of his life. I don't need more reasons to love Notre Dame, but I thank Notre Dame for loving my dad. My dad unexpectedly died in the early morning hours of Thanksgiving. He went how all of us would want to, peacefully asleep in his bed. It's exactly how my dad would have wanted to exit this world, dignified and tranquil. The world lost a treasure. Laverne lost a champion. Notre Dame lost a brother. Our family lost one of a kind. My husband lost a mentor. My son lost a papa. My mom lost her soulmate. And I lost my best friend. He was the tree, and I'm proudly the apple that fell from it. We named our only child after him for a reason, and we will make sure his legacy and stories never die. So if you want to celebrate my dad, meet someone new and make them feel like you've known them forever. Send someone a handwritten note. Buy a scratcher. Go to CVS and try to use all the discounts you can. Cry when you hear Climb Every Mountain. Remember small details about people and bring it up to them next time you see them. Listen to Frank Sinatra. Celebrate the people that serve our communities and our country. Drink Irish whiskey, specifically Bushmills. Honor St. Patrick's Day and give someone a green carnation. Mail a birthday card to a loved one. And most of all, root for the Yankees and Notre Dame, even if you have to do it silently. So, Daddy, until I see you again, and now we're going to spread his ashes at his tree. I love you, Dad. Thank you.
Now we're going to get into St. Patrick's Day and what it means to me and hopefully what it means to you. Let's have some fun. St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner. You can see I brought my props up here, have some fun with, explain why I love St. Patrick's Day. I grew up in New York before television. I used to listen to the Notre Dame games on the radio. My mother had me say a rosary, and as Notre Dame was winning, the rosary got faster. I have said the fastest rosary ever in the history of the Catholic Church. But I bring a little guy with me here. This is my Olio. Olio and I watch the games together. And when things go good for Notre Dame, go Irish! I hit Olio. And he plays a little bit of the fight song. So with that being said, I'm going to sing a little bit, excuse the singing, of the Notre Dame fight song. Hopefully you will enjoy it. Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. Wake up the echoes cheering her name. Send the valley cheer on high. Shake down the thunder from the sky. When though the odds be great or small, old Notre Dame will win overall, while her loyal sons are marching onward to victory. Onward to victory. Go Irish! It's a special day. We hope everyone enjoys it. It's a hectic life we all live. So what we need is some joy and some fun. If you cheat, you steal, you fight, and you drink. If you cheat, let's hope you cheat death. If you steal, let's hope you steal a woman's heart. If you fight, hopefully you're fighting for a brother. And if you drink, please drink with me. Please remember those expressions. Have fun, enjoy the day. Go Irish, go Laverne, go San Dimas, go Gary and his staff. Definitely you should give these folks a call. They're fun to deal with, they're professional, and they'll help get the word out about what your company has to offer. Thank you for the time.
Well, thank you all for coming and being here with us and for all your comments. Dad had these hats made for us for Christmas. And so it says fun in 21, go Irish. Go Irish. So we wanted to wear them, and there will never be anyone like him. So please carry him in your hearts and remember that he loved you guys too. And here's to Dad. And don't worry, Brian's got apple juice. Here's to Dad, and we love you. Go Irish, go Yankees, Shalancha, and until we see you again, Dad, love you.
Love you, honey.
Love you.
Love you.
Let me drink it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Love you.
And to our 50th wedding anniversary.
Aguilar. Lifelong Irish fan will wear number 22 tonight and play wide receiver and safety.